Coaches, welcome to the Coach Gibbs Defensive Lab. My name is PJ Gibbs, and I'd like to also reach out and thank our sponsors, Custom Playbooks, which is Coach Danny Budd, who does all the slides you're going to see in this presentation, and Coordinator Corner also. You can find those guys on Twitter, but I want to thank those guys for their support of the channel and also the podcast. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through some three safety run fits. Now, again, I want to preface this on, we're not three high all the time. We're multiple on our fronts. I'm going to go through 10 and 11 personnel, go through some pressures, but I just wanted to make sure that, getting into this, I'm sure most of you guys have seen some videos or talk to me, whether it's on social media or we've done some type of Zoom or Google Meet, but I just wanted to preface it with that. So, let's get rolling. Okay. So this is, again, I'm going to go through some culture stuff. Like, this is the stuff that I believe that's been ingrained in me since I was a player and a coach. Down at the bottom, my high school coach, Vic Kaboo, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have had coaches that have used this in some shape or form, but you're either getting better every day or you're getting worse. So we stress through our guys, really, just be a little bit better every single day. Philosophically, I come from New Jersey, so I grew up a Parcells Belichick guy, and all about just, regardless, just doing your job, execution over emotion. No, if you're on the varsity football team, I don't care what grade you are, there are no exceptions or no excuse that, I'm only a freshman, right? If you're a freshman playing on varsity, you are starting. We do not just bring freshmen up just to be role players. We believe in player development. So there's no excuse there. And understanding that, mastering situations and fundamentals will, decide a game. And it goes back to the things that you're going to teach your kids in your individual period and the cohesiveness you have as a unit. And again, the team over the individual, right? It only works if everybody's pulling in the same direction. And then obviously we're going to hold everybody accountable to a high standard. We're a big believer in multiplicity by simplicity. And then obviously we need to be consistent, right? So get off the field on third down, turn the ball over, create negative plays, just havoc all over the field. So that's kind of what we talk about on a daily basis. And again, my identity, I started out as a 4-3 guy, and I've built myself into this. I'm fortunate enough to have coached a lot of good players, been around a lot of good coaches, hired a lot of good coaches. But our belief system is we're going to dictate to the offense. We're going to pressure. We're going to bring a lot of different fronts, a lot of simulation. And again, it's a trust factor. It's attacking and coaching without fear. And what I mean by that as a play caller for me is trusting my guys that are going to do the job, but also coaching and preparing them. We're not going to coach them with fear, right? We're not going to, now again, don't get me wrong, we're going to get after them, right? But it's about teaching them to do things the right way. And obviously the havoc thing, our havoc rate is something we really hang our hat on. Multiple fronts for us, odd and even, simulated pressures and creepers, post-snap rotation. We will have some man-match principles as well. But obviously our strengths are creating negative plays, forcing the quarterback to make bad throws or to hesitate. And we're a big believer in culture over drama. Like we don't need it. We don't have time for it. Buying into what we're selling, or, you can go to the other side of the ball. This is something that when Coach Tim Andler was at the University of Central Florida, he's now at Boise State. We went in clinic with them, and I really took this to heart. I thought this was a great equation for our defense. S plus T minus X equals W. So sacks plus turnovers minus explosive plays is going to equal wins. And the one statistic I took out of this is that if you get a sack on a drive, there's a 93% chance that the offense is going to punt the ball. It's extremely hard, especially in today's game, for the offense to drive 80 plays flawlessly, whether that a penalty, pre-snap penalty, holding penalty, a turnover, stop on downs, just something that is going to go wrong for them. And again, that goes back to the culture stuff we were talking about, and, preaching relentless pursuit to the football, and, being multiple in what we do, but being simple, looking like we're doing a lot, but we're really not. And, that's a testament to our coaching staff and our kids for being able to allow me as a play caller to do that. One of the things that from day one we'll talk about is the requirements to be part of our black shirt defensive unit. It's something that's earned. So, pretty self-explanatory, guys, right? Be on time, effort will make you right. Be respectful and responsible. That's just not on the field. That's in the classroom and in the community. Displaying leadership. Now, again, that could be vocal leadership. That could be lead by example. Everybody's different, right? Being a great citizen on and off the field, understanding that everybody's a spoke in the wheel. You know, from the all-state kid to the kid that's just trying football for the first time, everybody has a role. Your work ethic in the weight room, right? If you're a leader in the weight room, if you're breaking goals, if you're establishing yourself, you're getting bigger, faster, stronger. You're only going to help our team get better. Holding yourself to a high standard, right? Setting a goal as a defense to achieve it. We'll talk about that with the havoc rate. And your actions are a direct reflection of your team. So the choices that you make are going to have a reflection on your team in one way or the other, whether that's not playing, whether that is lack of playing time for a decision that you made. It's just everything affects the whole unit. And again, as a defense, we all are one unit. And then the thing with us is culture, I think, is a word that's thrown around a lot nowadays. Obviously, when you look at teams that are successful, you want to try to find that secret sauce, right? But for me, this is the one thing I took from listening to Coach Mike McDonald a lot this year, is that it's not a slogan, it's a daily buy-in that we're going to play for each other, and it's something bigger than ourselves. We talk about like Proverbs 30:30 in, a lion doesn't run away from a challenge, right? So, but this is something, and when we talk about daily buy-in, it's on the field, in the classroom, in the church, in the community, something that we're going to live through every day. And like I said before, I'm a big Bill Parcells guy. Again, I think confrontation, people give it a negative connotation, but you get into a room as a coaching staff and guys need to clear the air. There's ideas that need to be discussed, but just understand that, hey, listen, once we leave this room, we're all on the same page. And when it comes to the sideline, like, guys are going to get, excited. They're going to get heated a little bit, but just understand that, we're all pulling in the same direction. We're all there for a common goal, and, getting after a coach, in a positive confrontational way only is going to make you better. And again, that's just something that I believe in. If you're going to be coaching football, like, sensitivity is not something that you need to, it's not paramount in our business. Had a chance to speak with Clint Hurdle this spring, and I thought this was something from the baseball world that is a great piece of advice for preparation in our business. Is pressure is what you feel when you don't know what you're doing. If you're prepared, you're not going to feel that pressure. Obviously, being a great in-game adjuster is something that, we as a coaching staff pride ourselves on. We've been fairly successful over the last decade at doing that. And I'm just, excited for this opportunity. All right, so we're going to talk about why the three safety defense. I'll talk to you guys about our position descriptions. Then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the run fit with some diagrams and some film. So we're extremely multiple in what we do. We use the same personnel. So whether we're 3 down, 4 down, 5, 6, multiple, like 7, 8, chaos front, the goal is not to substitute personnel. Only time we've done it is we had a single wing team in our district a few years back. We had to take a DB off to put an extra lineman in because that's what it dictated. But even against wing T and flex bone, we're going to keep that same personnel on the field. And multiplicity by simplicity, right? Have multiple pressures out of one front to keep the offense on its toes. And again, that goes back to us dictating to the offense. All right, now our position descriptions. Up front, like, really, obviously at the high school level, you have to really look at the hand that you're dealt, right? So, like, for us, the D line, like 3-4 years ago, was fortunate enough to have 3 guys that played at the Division II level or higher. I've had a 135-pound state champion wrestling nose guard. Coaches, if you have the wrestling coach on your staff, or you're looking for a nose guard, go to the wrestling room. They understand leverage. They stay low. They can wreak a lot of havoc. But honestly, we want guys that can get off the ball and penetrate and run to the football. That's really what we're looking at. Our Mike backer is your traditional plugger. He's a guy that's going to be usually gapped up for the most part. He's going to need to know his pass drop, but just somebody that can attack downhill and understands where they fit in the run scheme. Your jack linebacker is going to have to do a couple things. They'll play up on the line. They're your traditional will linebacker. But like I said, if you're going to play some of the even front stuff that we're going to discuss, you need to put that linebacker with the defensive line coach at least once a week if you're going to do that, to teach them squeezing and spelling, not getting reach, rushing the passer, those kind of things, because you want to give that kid, you want to put them in the best position to be successful. The secondary, we play field and boundary. So obviously our field guys are a little bit more on the athletic side, but the field corner will have to fit in the run game with our trap stuff. Boundary guys, obviously a little bit more, in the sense of liking contact. Our Viper is our traditional nickel. Is going to need to fit the run, need to run with 2 up and in, need to pressure. Your true nickel. And our middle safety, our rover, is our guy. He's our dude. You're going to ask him to do the most low hole robber, a quarterback on zone read, blitz, cover the best receiver. You're going to ask him to do it all. So this has to be like your best player. I would equate him to like the old school 4-3 middle linebacker back in the day. Now we see a lot with, what Coach Haycock did at Iowa State with the 3 safety stuff. So like I said, it's got to be the guy that when it comes time to make a play, that's the guy that you want making the play. All right, so let's talk about our 10 personnel. So this is our alignment, our base 10. We're going to be a 0 and 2 4s. Nose is going to slant away from the back. Viper will go to the passing strength. We have our 3-2 box. We're going to play trap or Tampa 2 to the Viper side. We're going to play press quarters away from the Viper. Rover is going to align always over number 3. So in this case, number 3 is the back. So that's your pre-snap 10 personnel picture. Okay. Now, if we were to get inside zone with the quarterback possibly pulling it, here's how we're going to fit it. You're going to have your Mike linebacker, be B gap to the football, because that end is going to try to, fight that reach. Viper obviously is your apex defender. And then again, you have your sky support side with the safety. Your rover is that banana fit, as you guys can see. He's going to play inside zone off the jack's backside to quarterback. And really, if this tackle gets really washed down, that becomes more of a clearer fit for him. His triangle, as you can see, is aligned here. So he's going to flat foot read it at 8 in case we get an RPO with some kind of backside glance. He's sitting right in that window. And obviously, we're playing press quarter. So he's Meg on number 1. He's got him everywhere. He's got 2 vertical, but he's got help inside on a slant. And we're playing traditional Tampa 2 right here. So that's kind of look at it inside zone. RPO off inside zone with the quarterback pulling the ball, run fit. All right. And then here's just a true zone, true zone run. You can see we're sky support still. We're backer support here. We're working, they're going to zone. We're going to try to work this way. And the one thing too, is you tell your inside linebackers is run to the ball. He is unaccounted for in the blocking scheme. So you get zone, you get power, get going. All right. He's there to make you right. All right. And again, he is unaccounted for the blocking scheme. So inside zone to banana fit to glance, that's kind of his progression as he's flat foot reading this thing. Okay. So I'll stop this clip real quick before we go. So here we have, we have an 11 personnel look. So you can see based off of this is we're in our 3 down front. Okay. Mike, Jack, here's our rover. Okay. Because number 3 is in the backfield. Now, single receiver side, and we treat this as a single receiver side because of the Y in the core off the ball. So our Vipers here, so we're Tampa on this side. Now, because this guy is down by the numbers, you're going to see the corner give out almost like a basketball shot to the boundary safety here. He's making an Indiana call, which is our invert. So you're going to see 4 walk down. Okay. You're going to see 54 and 53 get off the ball into the B gap. Obviously, we're going to have the rover here, and we have sky support coming down. He's locked up here, all right, with the invert call. Okay, great job, penetration, run force. Here comes the rover. Here's the Mike. Here's the Jack. All right, and then again, we're Tampa on the backside. But it's a beautiful thing. We got 9 guys, okay, to the ball out of 11, okay, on a jet sweep. Okay, great job by our guys up front. Okay, show it one more time. Okay, you see 4 making the Indiana call. Again, stop it right here. We have great penetration. Okay, he's going to collision and fight outside, okay, to set the edge, and then we get everybody flat down the line. Okay, go to the next clip here. Okay, now this is going to be out of our Florida front. Okay, so you're going to see the end and the nose. Okay, 5s and 0. The Mike and the Jack are walked up on the guards. Here's our Rover. Okay, all right. Here's our Viper. We're cover 1. You're going to see the Viper going with, but you're going to see, again, when you get into this, whether it's a bear look or the penny look, you're forcing a one-on-one matchup with the offensive line. Okay, and you're making your best player be able to run tackle to tackle. All right, so this is why I like this front. This is why I put it on here. Okay, again, it's a 5-man front, so everybody's up. It's big on big. All right, and we're going to see if we can win our one-on-ones here. Okay, so you see the nose guard get in there right away. The center stepped away from him. All right, and now they're trying to run some type of split zone with the slot, who's actually the tight end coming across. All right, but our guys do a great job of stopping that in the backfield. Okay, go back to the beginning again, so we'll get the pre-snap. Okay, all right, so again, cover 1. All right, I'd rather have him go behind instead of in front of the Rover because that always clouds it up. But there we go. Great job up front. And again, you get to that bear front or that penny front, okay? And you get that one-on-one matchup. All right. So now let's talk about 11 personnel. So this is kind of how we're going to, line up to it like in spring install. Basically Viper's going to go to the passing strength, right? So we're Tampa or trap, Rover lining over 3, which is the back. So basically playing cover 6, right? Quarter, half. We walk the safety up, on the tight end. He'll have him man. And then obviously we're mega on number 1 over here. But here's if we got any type of pull, nose is going to slant to the tight end. If there's a Y in the core, that trumps back. Okay. And again, right now, the Viper is what we call, an apex plus player, meaning he's the pitch read in the RPO. So if back goes away, which in this picture he will, okay, he's going to sit to make the quarterback hand the ball off. I don't want him triggering. All right, we have the Rover here. I don't want to give this guy any type of window, especially if this quarterback's a dude, right? Have him sit, let these guys go. All right, we're 3 over 2. Really, we're 4 over 3 with the Rover and the back, okay? So apex plus sit, okay? Make him hand the ball off and then get to your run fit, okay? Now, here's a different look if we want to walk the Rover up, right? 5 technique here, nose will slant. We'll take the B gap. So he's still an A gap player, the Jack. The Mike's a B gap player. Now we can trap this. We can play Tampa. We're 3 over 2. We're 3 over 2 here. Trap or Tampa, right? Still an apex plus player. So if he got action away, he would sit and read it, especially if we got like a bubble. If we're trapping this thing, this guy's going to get smoked, right? But I want him to sit because I want the RPO coach to get frustrated as he keeps handing the ball off. Okay. And now here's if we got a gap scheme or zone. Obviously, we got backer support outside here with the Rover. All right. Apex plus, he's going to sit, then fold into the cutback. Trap or Tampa. But again, 3 over 2, 4 over 3. We're pretty good. Okay. Now, if we get the attached, okay, if we get the 3x1 attached, okay, we can still keep our box the same. Rover aligns over number 3. We're Tampa or trap. Okay, and then we're trap or invert like we showed you in that last clip based on this guy's width. Okay, but we're still taking he's going to be a 5, play the C gap, B gap, slanted tight end. So he's a B gap and an A gap player. And then we have cloud or sky support depending on the call here, either trap or invert. Okay, so let me pause this. Okay, these guys shifted pre-snap, okay, to 11. All right. We had an overload front here to this side. We stay in it. So corner, Viper, Mike, Jack, safety. Okay. Rover, safety, corner. Okay. You can see we get a down block here. We get the pull. Okay. 53, the end is going to fight outside the down block because he knows right now that he's a C gap defender. Okay. You can see 4 now. Seeing the down block, he's going to start working this way. Okay, same thing with the Mike, same thing with the Jack. Okay, the Viper has the H man to man, so you'll see him flowing. And there's our Rover sitting in the middle of the field. Okay, let's start that again from the pre-snap. Okay, and one thing I got to make a good coaching point on here is I learned from Coach Chinandler at Central Florida when we went up there is if you have guys that you trust that they understand where they fit, like don't don't just say, hey, you got to be a 3 technique. Hey, you got to be this, you got to be that. Like 53 for us, this was 2 years ago. He's actually going to the University of Toledo to go play. He was a kid that I could say, hey, you can line up wherever you want on the tackle. Just understand you got to get to the C gap. And this is a perfect example of him understanding what he's supposed to do. Okay. Great job by our guys up front. All right. Okay. Rock and roll through these. So here's an example, and I wanted to put this on here of I know we talk about run fits, right? But like to me, when you throw a flat route to your H, it's an extension of your run game. Okay, so I wanted to show this pressure plus a great fit by our boundary corner here, number 5. So this is our Vegas pressure. So this is us getting to bear from depth. So you're going to see our rover and our jack are going to blitz off the edge. These guys are in 0 and 2 3s. Okay, and we're going to play Tampa 2 behind it to the boundary, and then Tampa up to the field. But to me, that's an extension of the run game. Great technique, fighting through the outside shoulder, got off what was not a very good block by the wideout. Okay, go back to the beginning here. Okay, double edge pressure. Okay, quarterback throws it. Here's 5. He knows he's outside leverage, has the safeties help inside, gets through, makes a good fit, and then everybody comes and finishes the play. So I like to show that because to me, that's an extension of the run game. Okay, now it's jet sweep. Okay, out of 11. All right, same pressure. Okay, so we're going to get Vegas again. But again, it's about the rover understanding, the boundary safety understanding. He takes everything on with his inside shoulder because it's sky support. Same thing with the jack. He needs to take everything on with his inside shoulder because it's backer support. Rover's sitting here, okay? And like I said, we get motion. He's going to roll to the post. Here, right here. Daniel does a great job, our boundary safety. You see his helmet. He's going to keep coming through to fight that. All right, and actually ends up beating both these blockers and making the play. And I'll start this from the beginning again. It's all that we talked about technique, fundamentals, understanding your leverage, okay, in these run fits. Sky support, he knows he's force. Boom. Great job. Great job. Okay, now we get, so now one thing I want to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this with 12 too, is anytime we want to walk up a backer, okay, to me, because the strength of our defense traditionally has been our speed. So we want to force everything east and west, right? So like 7, you're going to see our Mike up on the tight end. He has the tight end man-to-man, but what he's going to do is he's going to attack, and he's going to take that inside gap. Like we want everything to bounce. So here we got 9's going to walk up. He's our Viper. Okay, this is our jack, and this is our rover. So it's technically a 5-1 box, but the rover's stacked so he can be free to the ball. You're going to see 7, all these guys slanting, or we call it skinning, inside to make this thing bounce. Okay, you see 7 winning inside. Here comes 6. Now these 2 guys, I don't like them standing next to each other. I'd rather have the rover back here. All right, but these guys are going to flow right to the ball. Okay, unblocked. Okay, we're back to the beginning there. Okay, now it's 3rd and 8.5. All right, and now we're in business. Okay, now we have the advantage. Okay, now let's talk about 12P. One thing I want to say about 12 personnel, that if you're any type of 3 safety, you need to have a plan for 12 personnel. So this is kind of, we talk with, different, different coaches around the country, high school coaches, college coaches, like, what do they like against it? Obviously, with us trying to keep the same personnel on the field, we want to make sure that we make things simple. So like right here, we're playing basically, the Rovers locked up on the tight end. We have our 3 down linemen. Our Viper, what we'll do with him is like we'll keep that picture, especially if he's an apex minus now, right? Because again, the back is away. Okay. Now, what we like to do is we'd like to stem him in and move this end down and have the Viper in the end, skin in the A gap and the B gap, all right, to make this run bounce. Okay. But, corner is we could play Tampa, okay, right here, which we're doing. All right. Again, we can play Tampa or trap. Now, obviously, if he stems, they're going to basically zero out on this side. Okay. But again, it's all about communication for us. Okay. Now, again, force run defender. Okay. Tight end, man to man. All right. So if we do get some type of, high-low read, basically we're bracketing the high. He can sink underneath the low. All right. But again, now with the back apex plus, he's going to sit. All right. And he'd be the quarterback player if the quarterback pulled it. Okay. In this look. All right. So here, 12. So now you see 7 and 9. So basically, yeah, we're in 5-1 look. Okay. One has this tight end man-to-man. Corner has this tight end man-to-man. You're going to see the Rover come into the picture late, but 7 needs to win inside, okay, because we want this thing to bounce. Okay. Don't like him getting pushed off the ball there, but you can see now, okay, we're 3 for 1. 1, 2, 3 for this one blocker right here. All right, and that's a 2-yard gain. We'll go back to the beginning. Okay, they try the old shim sham. Again, winning inside, making this thing bounce to our strength. And again, the Rover, I'd like him to be a little bit out of the picture right now and then show up. But again, right now, 1, 2, 3 for one blocker. I'm not really good at math, but I think that's advantage for us. Okay, and obviously we make the play for for a 2-yard gain. Okay, now let me back to the beginning here. Okay, so now this wasn't a stem or anything. He just got in there late, but again, 7 needs to win inside. Okay, 53 needs to win inside. All right, wins inside. Okay, 9 gets there late, but is actually unblocked. 7 does a great job of shedding and making the play. We'll go back to the beginning again. But again, winning inside, being physical right here. Physical at the point of attack, right? Splitting the double team and making the play. Okay, awesome job by those guys. I can't say enough about the effort on that end. Okay, now here we go. Okay, same deal, right? Okay, 7's got to win inside. Okay, 53's got to win inside, knowing he has help outside here. Okay, he should be free. Vipers right here, okay? Okay, wins right inside. Go back to the beginning again. Okay, and 9 is here because this is the passing strength. Okay, so I guess the tight end might have got confused and went out and left 7 by himself, but I'm not complaining. Okay, nice job by Johnny there. Okay, now get into our 4-down stuff. So this is Georgia, all right? So this is when you walk the jack up to a 5. So now you can be over, under. You can stem to an over and under. You can be 2 2s and slant. It's really what are your kids good at, right? Okay. The one point that I want to make is we can roll to 3, we can roll to 1 out of this. We can do a multitude of things. And again, single receiver rules still apply for us. Okay. So, if we got motion to 3-by-1 to the Viper, okay, we're trapping or inverting. So like in this picture, you're going to see to the single receiver side, you're going to see the boundary safety come down and really make a good play in the backfield. Okay. He does a really good job of being patient, waiting, and then fitting on the run. Okay. So here, stop this. Okay. So here we got basically 11P, right? 3-by-1 with the Y off the ball. Okay. We're inverting here. Okay, they make it an Indiana call. Okay, we're 4 over 3 with everybody. Okay, we walked the Rover up here. All right, but we're still inverting backside. I just want you to watch the great job and run fit by the boundary safety here. Okay, He finds that the right alley to fit to keep his outside arm free. You get through there. That kid's about 155 pounds and just throwing all his weight around. Keep working, right? Go back to that again. Just watch him keep working to the outside of these pullers. Okay, you got GY, right? He's working to the outside of these pullers and understands. Because, like, if he goes under, we're in trouble. I mean, they got the sideline, right? I mean, look at that. Like, our guys are now chasing with this cat up the sideline. But because he sets the edge and gets through the blocks, he's able to make a play for a half-yard loss as opposed to maybe a touchdown. Great instincts coming down. Great job on invert there. That's why I put it on. It's a teach tape for us. Okay, now I wanted to get into a little bit of this Badger front. So for us, this is like a version of kind of like a version of bear. So for us, it's a change up for us. So here you guys can see the picture. We have double edge pressure. Okay, the rover has the Y off. Now we can play one, we can bracket. It just depends on what you want to do. He'd be a free bracket somebody. The Mike has the back man to man, so he aligns about a half a yard behind the nose in case we get some type of swing route. Either way, we're slanting to the back. Again, double edge pressure. Okay, rover has him in case we get some kind of boot. All right, but the Viper knows he's a quarterback player. Back goes away, not going to chase. Okay, but it's a different version of bear. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, we're up. Okay, great job there. Okay, we cloud the picture up. 21 does a great job. I want to point out 21 here. A great job of spilling this to make this read clean for the rover. Go back to the beginning. Awesome job of squeezing. And this is a perfect example of why you need to send these guys with your D-line coach. Perfect example. Okay, see his hands. He's following his hands. He understands here comes a puller and makes a great job, does a great job spilling. Boom. Clean to the ball. Okay, we actually have two guys clean to the ball. Safety. Okay, and then here comes the other safety. We got three guys free to the ball. One more time. These three guys free to the football. It's an awesome job. Awesome job all around by our guys. Okay. Now some pressure stuff. So I like this pressure against, it's in the stack world, right? Like I told you guys, we're in multiple. I like this pressure against gap, zone, and boot. Okay. We'll walk our safety up into this A gap. The nose always goes, loops the same side. Ends are pinching now. Where we got into trouble in this part is when the Y would shift, Viper's going to follow him, and then we would say, okay, well now the safety has to flip. I said no. If he moves, you just move with him. We keep the stun on the same way. We have edge pressure both sides, so we're good. We're cover one, okay. Delay third, so he's going to 3 shuffle step. If it's run, he'll get in it. If it's pass, he'll get out, or we can bracket. Okay. So here we go. Here's our safety up. Viper has him. We'll get pinched by the ends. The nose will loop this side. Mike has the back. Okay. Here's our rover. We're playing cover one. These guys are banjo in the stack out here. Okay. You can see how the loop throws the O-line off because now we've given up the inside, right? He's out in a pattern. So now we're 2-on-1. Okay. Getting out because now the back's got to step up inside. Okay, great job again by our guys. You see, the safety does a really good job taking up. I mean, look at this. He takes up 2 guys. He wins his one-on-one. He wins his one-on-one. He's going to win his one-on-one, and he's not going to get blocked. But it's great coverage downfield. Tried the wheel route. No dice on the wheel route. Okay, now here it is. I like it again. This is sprint out. I love it against sprint out. I wish 9 would have went behind the linebackers. So here, we're going to get safety, loop into this side, both ends in, okay, and the jack's going to be the edge pressure. Go back one more time. 54 does a decent job. I'd like him to kind of get inside or work back out, but he kind of feels the sprint out. So his launch is pretty good, and then he works back out. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, he ends up having the back pick him up where in a perfect world for the offense, he would reach 54 and the back would pick up 11. But because 54 does such a good job, the back has to pick him up, and now the linebacker blitzing is clean off the edge. And he's excited, and as well as he should be. Okay, guys, real quick, I thank you for listening to the mini clinic. I hope you guys got something out of it. I just want to highlight real quick, Coach Bud does a great job. There's his contact info. Mention the podcast, the mini clinic. You guys like 10% off. All he does custom slides for specials, offense and defense. We're fortunate enough now. We have over 15 high schools across the United States that have gone to the full system. Obviously, it's great if you do. If you want to use a little bit, that's awesome too. We had some really good finishes this year for our guys that are on the fast and physical train. So wanted to give them a shout out. Quick Cut. This presentation is on Quick Cut. So reach out to those guys if you want to mention my name to qualify for 50 free hours. I love it. The presentation tool that I use for this is so much better than Huddle. Like I said, I can't say enough about Todd and those guys. So definitely reach out. Again, subscribe to the lab on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 right now. We're almost at 650. So if you guys could help me out with that, that would be great too. And then here's all my contact info. The Twitter from the defense, the lab, and then myself, and then the Instagram, the Facebook group, and then my email. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. I appreciate you guys taking the time. And again, I'd love to jump on a Google Meet with you guys, or again, as we get into spring football, any questions you guys have, please let me know.